doing radio, they're like, huh, yeah, that whole half English, half Yankee thing. People might think you're Canadian, and we can't have that. We can't have someone thinking that you're from the great white frozen tundra, the land of unnatural fondnesses for moose. So pick one accent and stick with it. And because I never had a real English accent, I went with the American one.
Can you fake one? Like if you're hanging out with a bunch of Europeans, can you fake where you came from?
And this is what the guys in that band were saying. They're like, how come you've got no accent? And I was just like, well, I do, but it comes out more when I speak to other English people. And there's certain phrases. That you don't use in the Americans don't use. And if you say them in an American accent, they just sound stupid. So I'll revert back to for example, I'll give you an example. If you see a girl with a great rack, something an English person might say is, "Stone me, look at the jubblies on that." Right? But that doesn't sound really
like a
natural.
Fairy tale.
Yeah, it doesn't sound supernatural when you're an American. Stone me, look at the jubblies on that. Makes no sense. But if you're like, stone me, look at the jubblies on that. That's it just works a little bit better. And when I made reference to that particular phrase, they're like, oh yes, jubblies, wonderful. Oh God, the English something about, and I can't say things. Maybe I'll think of something that I can say on the radio and remain employed. But English people say the filthiest things ever, and because they say them in an English accent, it sounds quaint.
Maybe let's say it to our Spreaker audience only at like 9:30.
Yeah.
Because I want to know now. I need to hear this. Wish we were in delay. I'd say it, and I'll push the red button.
Yeah. Okay. No, we'll share that with our Spreaker audience only, or in the podcast a little later on in the show. Things that could get me fired that we'll only say on the interweb version of it. Okay. Cool. But yeah, no, there's this weird sort of like Anglo-American hybrid that I had to ditch when I got into radio. But it does come out a bit when I speak to, and now I'm sort of thinking about it a little bit. Like
that's what happens.
My mind, I'm English again, and I just noticed I was like, it does come out a bit. Yeah. And so, like, it's weird, like, people in the past, like girls in the past have said to me, like, oh, I wish you kept the English accent. I'm like, why? You think that would work for you? That'd be,
you think that'll work for you there, lovey?
Would that get your midsection? Would that get your midsection singing Sweet Virginia, Sweetheart? And it was like, no, if you kept the English accent, people would understand the weird behavior. It's just, you're not like other folks. I still say things like cash point, like when you go to the ATM in England.
Yeah, that's sophistication here. That's weird. It's like, I have to go to the cash point. Or, look at you.
Or you don't say mailbox, you say post box, like drop it in the post. Yeah. Or pop it in the post. But yeah, so I don't know. But yeah, it's weird when I watch English television shows. There's a certain part of me, just because I spent so much time there and it was so much of my childhood, that made me feel like I was at home. Have you seen that show, The In-Betweeners, yet?
No, not yet, huh?
Dude, you have to watch it.
The In-Betweeners.
The In-Betweeners.
Is it on,
it's on
Netflix?
Okay. Yeah, it is the most authentic representation of what high school is like between ages 15 and 16, and it's also set in England, and it's funny because it's aimed at kids, and it's 100,000,000% the filthiest thing I've ever seen. And in England, it was just, on normal TV. I think you didn't even have to have cable to watch.
Sort of like Sábado Gigante.
No.
But
well, I don't know. My Spanish isn't fast enough to understand if what they're saying on Sábado Gigante.
Oh, I can't even understand
filthy.
If they're talking. I'm just looking at the pictures.
Right. The moving pictures, the bouncing pictures, or as I would say, where I still hang out with my friends in England, stone me, look at the jubblies on that. Ay caramba, mate. Ay caramba. All righty then, let's get into the events of today. What's going on in the news?
Well, Willie Nelson is getting into the legal marijuana business.
Right. You know what they say. Smoke a ton of pot and you'll never work a day in your life. I think he's ready at this stage of the game. He's had like 81 years of on-the-job training. I can't believe that Willie Nelson is because you would imagine Snoop Dogg would be the first to the party with his own weed, because he is a branding machine.
I thought it was Be Real from Cypress Hill. He opened up the first shop. He was the first celebrity-owned shop. I think it was last year.
Oh.
Insane in the membrane.
Yeah. No, I think that makes sense. I would have thought...
if he counts. I mean, he's not really a big celebrity.
Tommy Chong, I think, had been selling... Isn't that why he went to jail?
He was selling glass pipes, man. He had a head shop, man. He wasn't really selling the actual green stuff, man, but he was selling paraphernalia, and they got him in the technicality.
Tommy Chong is so good. Didn't he send, like, weed paraphernalia? Didn't he, like, ship it out of state? And that's why he went to jail?
Wrong. We used the post wrong.
Oh, so stupid.
Can't really do that.
All right, go on.
Dr. Oz says he will address allegations that he's a scam artist on an upcoming episode of his show.
Yeah, and he'll do it with the help of a new miracle drug that you simply won't believe unless you tune in. You know what, like, I've never watched the Dr. Oz show, not all the way through.
I try to, but he needs to wear a T-shirt under his scrubs there, because it's just weird looking.
So, like, have you ever been hunting around the interwebs and you see Dr. Oz talking about some miracle drug in front of his television audience, and it looks like he's in the studio on TV and this is from his show, but it's not. It's sort of like an internet-only infomercial, and it's always pimping out some weird-ass drug. I don't know. Have you ever tried one of Dr. Oz's remedies to make you happier and, a ripped-toned super athlete in no seconds flat without doing a single sit-up?
No. I don't think I... it didn't cross my... I'm not like a 50-year-old woman, so I have other influencers.
What's the there's another doctor show that's like Dr. Oz, but it's got the doctors, and it's got like these guys that look like General Hospital actors. Yeah. Like, it's really...
Amy Schumer does a great bit where she does a show called The Nurses, and it's the show you watch while you wait for the doctors to come on. It's very funny.
Have you seen what was on her show? Amy Schumer is one of the few sketch comedy shows I can get into. I think she's so funny, but for some reason, sketch comedy makes me uneasy. Like SNL, I can kind of take just because it's SNL, but Key and Peele, their allure continues to evade me. I've never once laughed at Key and Peele, and everybody loves them so much, and and it's funny. I think they do stand-up. I'm pretty sure I've seen Key and Peele do stand-up, and hilarious. But the sketch comedy thing, I think it's just I'm not a fan of sketch comedy, but Amy Schumer just knocks it out of the park with her show. And there's that, what's the sketch she does? What's the female version of Hooters?
I can't
like Wangs or something like that?
Something like that.
So funny.
She's very talented.
So brilliant. Anyways, go on.
William Shatner may write a book about his friendship with Leonard Nimoy.
Right.
It's going to be one page long.
Yeah. This is how it works. I'll give you the plot synopsis. Nimoy lives long, but not that long. Shatner prospers and skips a funeral. Go on.
Drew Carey performed a mass wedding on The Price is Right.
But yeah, it's gay people who make a mockery out of marriage in this country. I think getting married as part of a mass wedding on The Price is Right sounds good. If Funkhauser ever gets married, that's the sort of wedding I see him having. Like, you're just kind of cool and badass in entertainment world enough to... Would you do a
I now pronounce you husband and wife. Come on down!
Yeah, exactly. Would you?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if I were to get married. I'm still, I don't know about that yet. Mm-hmm. Okay, now we're only talking to our Spreaker audience.
Oh, we're only talking to our Spreaker audience?
We are only here while America's Talk plays the news, the real news.
So people listening to Spreaker can hear this.
Yes, and we are not guided by the fat cats in Washington now, so you can say whatever you want.
Gotcha. Fantastic. So the filthy thing that my English friend used to say growing up all the time, like you could say, stone me, look at the jubblies on that, or stone me, look at the jubblies on that, and be like, gosh, she's so pretty, or she's so hot, or she's well fit, she is. And my friend always used to be like, yeah, but she'd look a darn sight better with a cock in my mouth. Or no, he wasn't he had the cock in this situation. He's like, she look a darn sight better with my cock in her mouth.
Oh yeah, that was a little backwards. You said it a little bit.
Look a darn sight
they
better
can
with
use
my cock
that
in her
word.
mouth.
They can use the word cock over there a lot better than we do, I think. You know.
Yeah. But the other thing he said, like, the other thing he would say is like, I say yes, she deserves a belly full of my hot muck. A belly full of my hot muck. Are we back on? Can't say that stuff anymore. Okay. None higher, circus in the age, call me sire. Think you're gonna be the one to take me down and guess again? No. Whoa. Money making, skills on the mic, keep me paid every day. And for part of the battle, just bow down, better act like you know. Whoa. Come on. Down to the crown. Down. And everybody bow down. And everybody bow down. Down. And everybody bow down. So the MC's never out. Like every day, and any sucker standing in the way is gonna pay. So you can't pay or get the hell up out my face. Humiliating every other runner in the race. Cause I'm just running and hunting just like a lion. Competition is slower and you're the dying. You gotta be better than that. You know you better believe that you will never be gettable, never ever be better than me. Bow down to the crown. Down. And everybody bow down. And everybody bow down. Down. And everybody bow down. So the MC's never out with a crown. Down. And everybody bow down. And everybody bow down. Down. And everybody bow down. So the MC's never out with a crown. Whoa. Whoa.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I hate everybody. I hate everyone. Oh, I hate everybody. I hate everyone. I hate everybody. I hate everyone. Oh, I hate everybody. I hate everyone. Oh God, I'm getting so sick of this. Why everybody gotta be so ridiculous? Serenity now, serenity now. Ah, fuck it, what if I just burn this whole town down? Everyone's an idiot, but me. It's a cold hard fact, not just what I believe. I want a little quiet, so don't try it. I'll check your ass like a looter in a riot. Shut up, bitch, shut up now. Keeping it secret is gonna make me smile. Shut your whore mouth.
Go ahead, favorite the show and enjoy AD on the go. iHeartRadio presents AD.
Alrighty then, Funkhauser, we're going to interview you. We came across this list of the 10 most common job interview questions, and if you or someone you know is looking at gainfully or is looking at becoming gainfully employed, well, these are the questions that might get thrown at you. And Funkhauser, man, if I was in a hiring position, this guy would knock it out of the park every single time he walked in, and I would want to hire him. As it turns out, we work together already, but I figure getting Funkhauser's answers to the 10 most common job interview questions will set you on a path to success, and we'll do that in a little bit. What were you saying, Funkhauser?
I'm looking forward to that, I think. I hope I answer all the questions correctly.
Yeah.
Or incorrectly. I don't know.
Yeah, I hope you answer them correctly, too. Otherwise, you know, we might have to fire you from this job that I have no power to fire you from. And